Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the Anvil F8C Lightning. Let's go ahead and take a look. Welcome back to another review. Today, the F8C Lightning Heavy Fighter by Anvil. Two things. First, there are a couple paints for this ship, but I don't have access to any of them because one of them's best in show. Another one is if you're a platinum ticket holder or you're an executive that, spent a lot of money on the game in support and got that paint for it. Otherwise, I do have NDB 30s all over this ship just because I took the stock armament off of here and didn't realize they were going to just completely disappear out of my weapons manager, which they did, or the ship manager, and so I'm just kind of stuck with the outfit I put on here. But I will tell you the difference between the two outfits and the fact of why I believe you should really go with this route or potentially a whole CF route. It just depends on what you're doing. There's a lot of good options for this ship. Now, back when this ship was available via the Gold Ticket program, you could get it for War Bonds $260 or store credit $300, and potentially it will return in the future because this ship isn't a one-and-done thing. It will become available again in the future, one way or another. It's just depending on when they want to do that and how they want to go about it, reinitiating the Gold Ticket event or having a different way of obtaining it, like, beating the game when Squadron 42 comes out. We will definitely see how that goes in due time. Now, if you were to be flying this ship, you have a 16-minute claim time if you're knocked out of the air for some reason, or if you're to expedite it, it is 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So definitely a little higher than some ships, but 5 minutes isn't too bad, enough time to go take a break really quick while your ship reclaims, which is nice. Now, if with the stock loadout, your damage per second is 1,966 damage per second due to the two size 3 CF337 Panthers, two size 3 Tarantula GT870 Mark IIIs, two size 2 Tarantula GT870 Mark IIs, and two size 2 CF227 Badgers. You have quite a bit of weapons on this ship. You have 8 guns. And so you could really outfit this thing with quite a bit of firepower depending on which route you go. I obviously went with the NDB 30s, which has a much slower round speed than something like a CF337 and a CF227. So that's a bit of a drawback with these guns, but they output a lot more damage than a CF. So if you can kind of get close to your target, your damage output is going to be quite ridiculous. But again, with this ship, it is a heavy fighter, and it's a heavy fighter lacking in its ability to do much when it comes to maneuverability and speed. So be very careful. Because if you get up against someone like a Gladius, an Arrow, or even an F7, depending on the pilot with the F7, they're going to circle strafe you, and you're not even going to be able to keep up with them with your turn rate or your roll or whatnot. So that could be very hazardous for you. Keep that in mind. The pilot also has 8 size 2 Ignite 2 missiles, which is pretty nice. Only 8 of them, though. And honestly, this is kind of one of the smaller payloads for a heavy fighter of this tier, so it's kind of too bad right there as well. Now, you do have 2 size 2 stealth grade B shield generators, outputting a total of 5,780 bubble shield. Surprisingly, this thing has stealth shields, but you can definitely upgrade it to something a little bit more powerful and getting you a little over 10, 11,000 shield if you were to look around. I'd go with like the FR76s, something in that line, because it has good regeneration rate. And then otherwise, you do have also 40,200 ship HP, which is truly in line with most heavy fighters out there. A lot of them are about 2,000 or 3,000 more HP, so you're not too far off, so not too terrible there. You have to come to the realization, just with any ship, you do have a lot of pieces on this ship. So a lot of wings and everything that can break off, so you got to be careful. You lose a wing, you could potentially lose a couple guns, and that is a very tragic scenario when that happens. So definitely try to keep yourself moving, rotating, rolling, do whatever you can to avoid taking too much damage on one side of your ship. Now, you have a top SCM speed of 207 with a 445 forward boost, a 218 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 1,075. So your speed, it's not like the best out there. It really isn't. It's honestly one of the slower heavy fighters available currently by quite a margin, honestly. And it's kind of too bad with this ship having such a nice engine profile, and it's an Anvil ship. You would expect it to have just a little bit more speed on it, but it really doesn't. And then your pitch yaw roll is 35, 31, 115, boosted 42, 37, 138. Again, the pitch out roll is pretty bad compared to a lot of heavy fighters out there. So something you also have to consider, why not just go with the Vanguard Warden? Why not go with the Scorpius? I mean, those ones you can even have not the Scorpius, but you can have an additional gunner, or you have an interior. There's a lot more bonuses to a ship like that, or even a Guardian, where you can do a little bit more with the ship compared to something like this. The F8 is honestly lacking in a lot of regards. You don't have a co-pilot seat. You don't have an interior. Your damage is up there, but your speed and maneuverability is quite dramatically worse than all these other heavy fighters. So you got to kind of pick what you're looking for. 8 guns or the ability to kind of move a bit. Now, you do have 48 countermeasures. 48 flares, 5 noise. Definitely average among the board, so nothing of concern there. And you have 37.2 SCU of hydrogen fuel, which is quite a bit. I do like that. And then only 1.3 SCU of quantum fuel. I was hoping with it being a heavy fighter, at its tier, it would probably be around the 1.8 to 2.5. So that's a little bit disappointing, but honestly, it's a heavy fighter. It's supposed to be like a carrier-born heavy fighter, something like Idris would, drop this off, or, potentially a Kraken or something. But so you're not really worried about it too much in that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you some combat with this thing. You'll get to see the interior, first-person combat, a couple shots at players, and then a couple shots at PvE. And otherwise, I'll give you my score.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
Honestly, this ship is fantastic if you're looking for PvE encounters and some PvP encounters as well. Depending on what ship you're fighting, honestly, you can have a great time just based off the firepower you have. You just have to take in accordance the, handling, maneuverability, and a lot of the drawbacks that this ship does have. Like, I really wouldn't outfit this thing with big old ballistic cannons. I would sway away from that for right now until we get a little bit better ballistics, because ballistic damage just doesn't output that much in the current build. So that's always something to consider. For me, this ship here is a 74 out of 100 due to everything I've pretty much talked to you about. Let me know what you think of the F8C Lightning down in the comments below. I'd really like to know. And of course, thank you for watching. Still under the weather. My voice is still a little bit messed up right now. I do have a giveaway running right now, so make sure you check the channel. I'll put it in the description down below as well, just in case you don't find it. And it's a pretty good giveaway. Asgard plus the Tonk ends on this Friday, I believe. So make sure you enter if you haven't already. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for being here. You guys are all truly amazing. And I will see you all in the next one.
Make sure that you enter the giveaway.